Hi, welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Have you ever paused to truly consider what a CEO actually does?
Mm,
It's one of those titles, right? Carries immense weight, conjures up images of, I don't know, power, decisive action.
definitely. Big corner office making the calls.
Exactly.
Ah.
Yet, for so many people, and maybe even for CEOs themselves, it feels incredibly ambiguous. Like, when you hear CEO, what's the first picture that springs to mind?
That's just it, isn't it? It could be anything. Maybe a brilliant tech person, like a coding wizard who lives and breathes the product architecture.
Or maybe the complete opposite, a real charismatic marketing genius, someone who just effortlessly crafts these narratives that capture the whole market.
Yeah, or maybe someone super operational,
Yeah.
deeply embedded in efficiency, a master of complex IT systems, making the trains run on time.
The truth is, it could genuinely be any of those, or maybe none of them perfectly fits. There's that common saying, isn't there? When you're at the very top,
Uh-huh.
there's no one left to tell you what to do.
Right. No boss, no instruction manual.
And that feeling of, okay, what should I really be doing with my time, my energy? That can be incredibly isolating. Doesn't matter if you're running a massive multinational corporation
Thousands of employees, yeah.
or navigating a fast-growing company, or maybe just starting your own entrepreneurial journey with a small team.
Absolutely.
It's a question that can kind of quietly gnaw away, even at really successful leaders. Creates this subtle but persistent uncertainty about their true purpose. Like, what's the most impactful way to spend my day?
Absolutely. And that feeling of ambiguity you're describing, it's a really common challenge. Often unspoken, maybe, but definitely there for lots of leaders at different stages.
Right.
And that's exactly why this particular deep dive feels so timely and honestly really insightful. What we've been digging into suggests a really powerful reframing. Think of it like a guiding North Star, something that cuts through all that ambiguity with real precision. It helps us move away from just thinking about the broad, sometimes ill-defined title of CEO to something much more potent, much more actionable. Genuinely transformative, actually.
More potent. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
intrigued.
Yeah, it's a fundamental shift in mindset, one that can unlock, well, immense clarity, boost effectiveness, and
Yeah.
really lift an organization's overall performance significantly.
And that shift, this powerful reevaluation we're talking about, is embracing the concept of being a chief accountability officer, a CAO.
Exactly, CO.
So today, we're going to really unpack this idea. We'll delve into why it's not just vital, but maybe even revolutionary for leaders. And we'll reveal some surprisingly simple yet profound ways you can actually embody this role in your own leadership.
Yeah, it's very practical.
It sounds like it's about more than just making sure tasks get done.
Oh, much more. It's about cultivating an environment where both you and your team achieve, far greater performance, experience real growth, and ultimately find a deeper sense of purpose in the work.
Okay, get ready for some major aha moments then,
Yeah.
because we think this could fundamentally change how you view leadership, your own role, and the impact you can really make. Okay, so let's start by really unpacking this dilemma, this pervasive thing that so many leaders, especially CEOs, confide in us about, that nagging sense of ambiguity around their role.
Yeah.
The title itself, undeniably impressive. The responsibility, huge. The weight of expectation,
Yeah.
palpable.
Absolutely.
But the actual day-to-day blueprint,
Yes.
the specific, actionable steps that really define success for them, it's not always so clear, is it?
No, it really isn't. It's almost like being handed the keys to this incredibly powerful, complex machine
Right.
with no user manual and just being told, make it go faster.
Shekels.
Yeah, exactly. Where do you even start?
You've hit on the core of the problem perfectly. What's really fascinating as we explore this is how our material highlights just how remarkably diverse the CEO role can be, not just across different companies, but even within, say, different stages of one company's growth.
So, for instance, you see leaders who are intensely product-focused, almost like the chief product architect, right? They're personally designing, refining, maybe even coding the core offerings.
Your passion is the product itself.
Totally. Their passion is in the thing the company creates. Then you have others who are deeply technical. They might be able to write complex code themselves, understand the whole digital infrastructure down to the finest detail.
Maybe started as engineers.
Could be, yeah. Grew into the top spot. Then on another end of the spectrum, some CEOs are masters of IT systems, logistics, ensuring the operational backbone is robust, efficient, scalable.
The machinery runners.
Exactly, making sure everything connects and runs smoothly. And then, of course, you've got those who excel in sales and marketing, classic rainmakers, brilliant at driving revenue, building the brand, closing those crucial deals.
Right. Connecting with customers,
Yeah.
articulating value.
Precisely. So this incredibly wide spectrum means the definition of CEO often feels less like a fixed role and more like a moving target, an ever-shifting set of priorities depending on the most pressing needs of the business right now.
And this is where the real challenge kicks in, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're at the very top within the company itself, there's no higher authority to just hand you a definitive job description, like a bulleted list.
Nope. No one gives you that checklist.
Right. There's no one providing that comforting list of daily duties. So it leaves many leaders asking themselves, quite genuinely, maybe sometimes silently, okay, what exactly should I be doing with my time, my energy, to make the biggest, most meaningful impact today, this week, this quarter?
Yeah. And asking that question isn't a sign of weakness at all.
No, not at all.
It's just an inherent structural challenge of the position itself.
And it's not just for the Fortune 500 CEOs, right?
Right. Oh, absolutely not. It's a universal leadership experience. Doesn't matter if you're running that multinational with hundreds of thousands of employees, or navigating a fast-scaling mid-sized firm, or leading a lean startup with just a handful of dedicated people.
Mm-hmm.
That feeling of being at the helm without a clear, explicit instruction manual,
Yeah.
it can be profoundly daunting.
Yeah, you might be feeling it yourself listening to this. That quiet doubt, am I prioritizing right? Or maybe you've seen it in leaders you admire, grappling with the weight of that ambiguous crown.
Exactly. And this pervasive ambiguity, this lack of a clearly defined what to do, that's the foundational problem that this whole deep dive really seeks to address. Because think about it. If the leader isn't crystal clear on their core function, how can anyone else in the organization be?
That's a really good point. It sets the tone for everything else. Okay, this is where, for me, it gets really interesting. Given that ambiguity we just laid out, the material we've explored offers this genuinely game-changing perspective. It proposes leaders should reframe their identity. Think of themselves not just as the CEO, the chief executive officer, but as something far more precise, more powerful.
Yeah.
A chief accountability officer, a CAO.
CAO. Yes.
It sounds like more than just a new title. It feels like a whole mental reframe.
You're absolutely right. It's not just swapping one acronym for another or adding more jargon. This is a complete paradigm shift. It changes how you fundamentally approach leadership and, crucially, how you define your most vital contribution.
Okay, break that down. What does it mean to be a chief accountability officer?
Well, as a CAO, you're not only profoundly accountable to the business itself, meaning you are the ultimate guardian of its core interests.
Like its health, its employees, clients, revenue.
Exactly. Its employees, its clients, its revenue streams, its crucial profit margins, you're guarding all that. But, and this is key, you are also the one who proactively, consistently holds everyone else accountable to achieving those same objectives.
Okay, so it's inwards and outward accountability.
Precisely. You become, by definition, the absolute most potent, most consistent, most influential source of accountability in the entire organization. It means if something isn't happening, if a goal's not being met, a standard is slipping, performance isn't hitting its potential,
The buck stops with you.
the buck absolutely stops with you, not just for your own actions, but for ensuring every single person, every department, every initiative is performing to their agreed-upon responsibilities and contributing to the overall success.
That's a really powerful distinction. It's not just taking personal responsibility, but actively ensuring everyone else is fulfilling theirs too. But okay, let's clarify something that often gets mixed up. Responsibility versus accountability.
Oh, yeah, crucial distinction. They get used interchangeably all the time.
Right. And the difference gets lost. Can you break that down?
Absolutely. It's vital because, like you said, misusing them leads to big gaps in execution. So let's be clear. Responsibility means someone is assigned specific tasks, duties, outcomes. They're in charge of them. Think of it as ownership. Exactly. A marketing manager might be responsible for generating X number of leads per month. They have the duty, the authority to design campaigns, allocate budget, manage their team to hit that number.
Or a production head is responsible for manufacturing quotas.
Perfect example. They own that output. Now, accountability. That's the active process of holding someone to those responsibilities.
But follow through.
Yes, it's the consistent follow-up, the clear expectation setting, the structured coaching, sometimes the firm hand that ensures those responsibilities aren't just assigned and owned, but are actually met to the agreed-upon standard, optimally even.
Okay.
And here's the critical insight. Someone can absolutely have responsibilities without truly being accountable if no one, especially the chief accountability officer, is consistently following up, checking progress, providing feedback, and ensuring those responsibilities are met. Not just adequately, but really well.
So that's the gap. Lots of responsibility, maybe not enough active accountability.
Okay. That's precisely where the gap often lies in many organizations. Plenty of people have responsibilities written down somewhere, but far fewer are consistently held accountable for fulfilling them effectively.
Got it. Responsibility is the what. Accountability is the making sure the what actually happens and happens well.
You nailed it.
So how does the CAO mindset apply to performance across the board? You mentioned company metrics like revenue or profit, often staring us in the face. They're hard to ignore.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie, usually.
But what about individual performance? How does that fit the spectrum?
Exactly. Our material describes performance as always existing on a spectrum. Think of it like a gradient, low to high, maybe 1% to 100%.
Okay.
For every single metric, the company tracks top-line revenue, profit margin, customer retention, employee engagement, even process efficiency. You want to know where it stands on that spectrum.
Right.
And most leaders, especially CEOs, do a reasonably okay job assessing where the business stands on those hard quantitative metrics. Why? Because, like you said, the numbers often stare you in the face. Undeniable.
Right. It's hard to ignore underperformance. If revenue is way down or margins are shrinking, those figures are stark. They demand attention. You can't hide from them.
Right.
But here's where leaders often fall short. And this is explicitly identified as the missing piece from that traditional CEO role. It's the consistent, rigorous process of holding people and departments accountable for their performance on that exact same spectrum.
Applying the same rigor to people as to spreadsheets.
Precisely. It's relatively easy to look at a spreadsheet and see a revenue shortfall. It's much harder, requires more skill, more courage perhaps, but it's infinitely more impactful to look at an individual or a team and honestly assess, okay, are they operating at 80% performance, 50%, maybe even a concerning 10%?
And then doing something about it.
And then critically, taking direct, supportive, corrective action based on that assessment. This is where the true power of the Chief Accountability Officer emerges, bridging that often vast gap between abstract company goals and concrete individual and team execution.
Wow. It's about extending that same clarity you apply to financial metrics to the human capital that ultimately drives all those metrics. It's about knowing, not just guessing, how effectively each person is contributing.
So, being the ultimate guardian of commitment for yourself and for everyone else, ensuring commitments aren't just made, but consistently honored, maybe even improved upon.
That's it.
This reframing really seems to address that missing piece you highlighted. It brings such clarity to where a leader's focus should truly lie. It's in fostering, measuring, enforcing accountability at every level, from the tactical stuff right up to the big transformational goals.
It takes that vague CEO job description and makes it an actionable, powerful mandate.
Okay, it sounds so elegantly simple on paper, doesn't it? Be the Chief Accountability Officer.
Chuckles.
Yeah, sounds easy.
But if it were that easy, well, every leader would be doing it perfectly and we wouldn't need this deep dive.
Exactly. The reality is much harder. So what we've uncovered suggests there are these powerful, often subconscious reasons like deeply ingrained internal scripts why leaders don't consistently hold people accountable, or maybe not effectively. The material actually calls it all the junk we have in our head.
Laughs. Yeah, head junk. It's a good term for it.
So what does this head junk mean? Why do we hesitate? Why do we shy away from those hard conversations or just avoid setting firm expectations?
That's precisely the point. These aren't just superficial excuses. They're really internal beliefs, self-defeating thoughts that subtly but powerfully sabotage our best intentions. They stop us from stepping into that full, potent accountability role.
Okay.
And our material identifies several key ones that just resonate so deeply with leaders. Doesn't matter the experience level or industry, they're pervasive.
Let's hear them. I bet some will sound familiar.
Oh, almost certainly. The first one, and it's a huge one, is the thought, I shouldn't have to babysit them.
Yes. The micromanagement fear.
Exactly. It stems from an understandable place, almost noble. Leaders feel like taking an active, consistent role in accountability. Frequent check-ins, direct feedback, maybe course correction is like treating their professional team members like children.
Right. They're adults. They should handle it.
Yeah, there's this resistance to that feeling of micromanagement. The belief is their role should be more strategic, more visionary, less hands-on with day-to-day stuff or individual performance details, and that creates a big mental block, makes them reluctant to do the very things that drive accountability.
Yeah.
They fear being seen as intrusive or distrusting.
Okay, that makes sense. What's next?
Closely related is the excuse, we're all adults here.
Similar vibe.
Very similar. It implies this core belief that competent adults, especially professionals, should just know what to do, how to prioritize, how to perform without constant oversight or prompting.
The internal thought is...
It's like, why should I have to constantly hold grown adults accountable? They're professionals. They should just get it done. I hired them for their expertise, didn't I? And while that sounds logical on the surface, it often overlooks the crucial fact that even highly capable, mature people benefit immensely from clear expectations, consistent feedback, and a structured, supportive accountability environment.
It's not about questioning their competence then.
Not at all. It's about ensuring alignment, maximizing their potential, providing the guardrails for consistent high performance, not leaving it to chance.
Okay. Another one.
A third, and this one can be particularly challenging, especially for newer leaders or those leading teams with way more experience, is thinking, they're older or more experienced than me.
Oof, yeah, that intimidation factor.
It's a really significant mental barrier. If you've hired someone with this long, impressive track record or someone visibly older, been in the industry for decades...
I think, who am I?
Exactly. Who am I as maybe a younger or less experienced leader to tell them what to do? They definitely know more than I do,
Yeah.
especially in specialized areas, right? Complex IT, nuanced finance, deep tech stuff.
Where you might genuinely not be the expert.
Right. You might feel unqualified to give direction or question their methods or give critical feedback. And that discomfort often leads to deferring, maybe trusting without verifying, or just completely avoiding accountability talks, even when the business really needs it.
That's a tough one. Okay, what else is in the head junk pile?
Then there's a more insidious one. This is a high-performance culture. They just can't keep up.
Blaming the person, not the system or the leadership.
Kind of. It becomes this convenient, maybe even self-serving rationalization for someone's underperformance. Instead of acknowledging, hey, maybe I failed to provide the necessary accountability or clear expectations or even the right support, the blame gets subtly shifted onto the individual.
They're just not a fit, or they can't hack it here.
Precisely. It implies the problem is solely with them, rather than examining whether the leader's own accountability practices are fostering the environment needed for everyone to succeed. Our material suggests this can be a fantastic but ultimately misleading and self-defeating excuse. It lets leaders off the hook from the hard work of coaching and accountability.
Wow, okay. And the last one. You mentioned it was big.
The biggest, maybe. The most universally relatable. Simply time.
Size. Yeah. I don't have time for this.
Almost universally cited. The perception is that actively holding people accountable, especially senior execs who are supposed to be self-sufficient, it just takes too much time.
Shouldn't they just manage themselves?
Exactly. Leaders think, should I really have to take this much time out of my packed schedule, strategic meetings, urgent decisions to manage high-performance adults? There's this underlying, often subconscious belief that time spent on active, consistent accountability is time not spent on more strategic things that directly hit the bottom line.
So it gets pushed down the priority list.
It leads to accountability being deferred, diluted, maybe avoided entirely when deadlines loom or other priorities shout louder. It's seen as a drain, not an investment, which is fundamentally wrong.
It's truly remarkable how easily we fall into these traps. I mean, listening to you, I can recognize having had versions of these thoughts myself, unconsciously justifying why maybe I didn't step in or assumed someone else would handle it or they should just know.
We all do it.
But what this deep dive emphasizes is that these are the self-defeating thoughts. They're exactly what prevents us from being truly effective chief accountability officers, and therefore truly effective leaders.
Yeah.
They protect us from short-term discomfort, right, from those awkward conversations. But they severely hinder growth, individual growth, team performance, overall progress in the long run.
Absolutely. And the material is incredibly clear, really unambiguous on this. The answer to whether you should take the time, whether you should push past these biases and discomforts to hold people accountable, it's a resounding, unequivocal yes.
No excuses.
No excuses. You do need to consistently hold everyone accountable. That includes your most senior, most experienced, seemingly highest performing adults. just as diligently as you would someone on the front line or an entry-level hire.
And the insight is that even they benefit.
Profoundly. When you consistently, actively, constructively hold even your most capable leaders accountable, they succeed much faster. They achieve significantly higher performance than if you just assume they're self-sufficient and left them alone. It is a critical mistake to think experience or seniority negates the need for ongoing active accountability.
So, as the CAO.
As the Chief Accountability Officer, with that holistic view of the business, its strategy, its interdependencies,
Right.
it is fundamentally your job to ensure what needs to get done, and gets done well. You're not there to do their job for them,
Right.
but to ensure their job is done optimally, serving the larger organizational goals. You are the ultimate translator of strategy into execution, and accountability is your primary tool.
Okay, now this is where our deep dive gets really practical, which I love.
Yeah.
Once you've committed, right, you decided, okay, I'm going to be the Chief Accountability Officer. You've maybe acknowledged and started pushing past those internal roadblocks, that head junk.
Tackling the excuses.
Exactly. The next crucial question is, how do you actually do it? Like, what does it look like day to day? What we've uncovered is that there are two distinct but equally vital types of accountability.
That's right.
And understanding both and how to apply each effectively feels like the key to mastering this whole CAO thing.
It really is. The material breaks it down beautifully into tactical accountability and developmental accountability. And like you said, understanding the clear difference, knowing when and how to apply each, absolutely critical for impactful leadership. Without this framework, leaders often end up, overemphasizing one or neglecting the other, creates imbalance, missed opportunities.
Okay, so let's start with tactical. What falls under that umbrella?
Let's do it. Tactical accountability is, well, essentially holding someone accountable to straightforward, often routine, tactical tasks. It's pretty much as simple as it sounds. Focuses on the observable, measurable, day-to-day actions and behaviors.
The little things.
Often the little things, yeah. But the things that, when done consistently, add up. They contribute significantly to a stronger, more disciplined culture, a more efficient professional operation. They're like the foundational elements.
Okay, give us some examples. What are we talking about?
Sure. Examples from the material are wonderfully relatable. Things like consistently being on time for meetings.
Simple but important.
Simple but important. And not just showing up, but showing up ready to engage. It covers how reports are filled out and submitted accuracy, format adherence. It extends to the language used in internal comms, keeping it professional, respectful, or adhering to a company's dress code if they have one.
Right.
If you're running a virtual company, which so many are now, tactical accountability might mean requiring cameras on during video meeting.
Oh yeah, the camera's on-off debate.
Big one. But doing it to foster engagement and connection. Or maybe politely but firmly discouraging typing or multitasking while others are speaking.
Because it's super distracting.
Totally distracting. Implies disinterest, maybe even disrespect. So these are the visible, measurable, day-to-day behaviors. Seemingly minor, maybe, but they can significantly impact team cohesion, professionalism, how competent the team looks and feels.
There was a story about this, right? The virtual meetings.
Yeah, a great anecdote in the material. This leader noticed their team looking, let's say, pretty bad on virtual calls.
Okay.
Some look like they literally rolled out of bed. Others in, well, the source called them wife beaters, basically, really inappropriate casual wear. Backgrounds with laundry piles, other unprofessional clutter.
Yikes. We've all seen variations of that, probably.
For sure. But the leader had this aha moment. Instead of blaming the team for being unprofessional, they realized it wasn't the team's fault for not meeting an unstated standard. It was the leader's own fault for not setting clear, explicit expectations.
Taking ownership.
Exactly. So once a new, clear, virtual meeting etiquette and dress code was put in place, outlining what was okay, business casual work shirts, and what wasn't, pajamas, messy backgrounds, the response was immediate, remarkably positive.
And the result.
As the material notes, nobody has showed up that way since then. It just perfectly illustrates that fundamental point. Often people just don't know the expectations. They're not trying to underperform or be unprofessional. They just haven't been given clear guidelines.
That's huge. So tactical accountability is about setting those clear ground rules. But you mentioned leaders feel nervous about it.
Yeah, that's the challenge. Many leaders feel too nervous holding people to these seemingly minor standards. They worry they'll be seen as nitpicking.
Or having a stick up my butt.
Right, or being overly rigid, bureaucratic.
Yeah.
But the material powerfully reframes this. It says, this is precisely how you help people grow in their professionalism. It's how you fundamentally strengthen the culture.
So it's not nitpicking, it's culture building.
Exactly. By setting and consistently enforcing these clear tactical standards, you're not micromanaging. You're defining operational excellence, baseline professionalism, respect for the team. That's what's expected. Our deep dive suggests tactical accountability should be about 20% of your focus as a CAO.
20%, okay.
It's the small stuff, relatively speaking, but it needs to be frequent, consistent, clearly communicated. It builds that essential foundation of discipline and respect.
Okay, that's tactical. Now the other side. Developmental accountability. This sounds deeper.
It is. This is often the more challenging side, but ultimately far more rewarding. Developmental accountability is about holding someone accountable for their career development, their personal or professional growth path.
So bigger picture stuff.
Much bigger picture. It delves into more profound qualitative areas. Things like character traits, deeply ingrained habits, how they operate within a team, their leadership style, collaboration skills, initiative, strategic thinking, how they handle conflict.
The behavioral aspects.
Exactly. The more qualitative behavioral aspects that truly define a person's long-term potential, their impact, their ability to move up to higher levels of responsibility.
And these conversations happen where? Performance reviews, one-on-ones?
Those are the main venues, yeah. Performance reviews, regular one-on-ones. However, and this is a really strong point in the material, it argues against the common, often damaging practice of waiting for the biannual or annual review to have these critical developmental talks.
Why wait?
Think about it. If a team member is genuinely surprised by critical feedback in their annual review.
It means you haven't been talking about it all year.
Exactly. It means you, as their leader, have missed countless opportunity loss moments in those weekly or bi-weekly one-on-ones. They could have been getting timely feedback, learning, adapting, growing all along.
But why do leaders wait?
Usually, they just don't like having hard conversations.
Avoidance again.
Yep. These discussions about character, behavior, areas needing real improvement, they feel personal, uncomfortable, potentially confrontational. So they get postponed or sugar-coated or just avoided entirely. And that's a huge detriment to the employee's growth and ultimately the company's performance.
So the goal isn't just critique, it's growth.
The ultimate goal of developmental accountability is to inspire growth not out of fear, but out of desire.
Okay, desire. How do you do that?
This is where leaders often struggle. It requires addressing deficits directly, yes, but doing it in a way that genuinely aligns with the individual's aspirations, their intrinsic motivation. It's about connecting their areas for improvement to their own stated career goals, making it their journey of growth, not just your directive.
Framing it around what they want.
Precisely. If someone wants to be a senior leader, you can frame feedback on their strategic thinking or delegation skills as essential steps towards that goal they expressed. It transforms critique into a pathway for their own advancement.
There was another story here too, right? About the manager.
Yes, a really powerful one. A leader had this fantastic manager on their team, super competent, effective in her current role. But the leader internally wished this manager had more leadership ability, to take on more, truly offload some of the leader's own work.
Just thinking about it, though, not saying it.
Exactly. For a while, the leader just thought about her development, stewed on it, analyzed it, but crucially didn't include her in the conversation about her own career path and potential.
Until
the leader finally sat down with her, initiated a direct, development-focused conversation, said something like, "You're a fantastic manager. You have so much potential. If you want to take it to the next level, if you want to grow into a role where you can truly offload more from me and shape this organization, here's what I want to see. I need you to step into that leadership persona."
Wow, direct but aspirational.
Right. And the results were astounding. A complete turnaround within a single quarter. By the next quarter, colleagues were independently remarking on her significant development, her increased leadership presence.
That's incredible.
It just clearly shows that even challenging behavioral change is accomplishable. When clear, development-focused accountability is provided and framed correctly, appealing to their desire for growth, their aspirations, it works.
So if tactical is 20%, developmental must be.
Developmental accountability should be about 80% of your focus as a chief accountability officer. It is the core. It's everything meaningful you discuss in your leadership role. It's where the most significant transformative growth happens for your people, and by extension, for the whole organization. It's the engine of long-term success.
That's a brilliant distinction. Utterly practical. It's not just about what tasks get done, but fundamentally who someone is becoming, how they're evolving. You know, thinking about my own experiences, I can totally see how those small tactical shifts, dress code, meeting etiquette, can instantly clean things up, reduce friction, create more respect.
Yeah, they set the stage.
But then, I've also seen how those deeper developmental conversations, when done right, can truly unlock someone's potential, transform not just their output, but their whole career path, their confidence, their impact. It's a powerful duality. And that 20/80 split gives us a clear roadmap. Okay, so we know the destination, Chief Accountability Officer. We know the roadblocks, that head junk. We know the two paths, tactical and developmental. Now, how do we actually hit that sweet spot in practice? How do we master this balance, especially when, like you said, our natural tendencies might pull us toward the easier path?
Yeah, it is a delicate balance. And achieving it definitely requires intentional effort, a conscious shift away from those natural inclinations we talked about.
So the framework is 20/80.
Right. The ideal, as we've unpacked, is roughly 20% tactical and 80% developmental.
Yeah.
But the common tendency, the trap many leaders fall into, is leaning heavily into tactical. Why? Because it feels safer, more comfortable.
Less squishy.
Exactly. It's about rules, established tenets, measurable output, process adherence, things that are more objective, less emotionally charged, often less confrontational. They're important, don't get me wrong, but they're limited in their transformative power if that's all you do.
And developmental feels.
Developmental often feels profoundly unsafe. It involves navigating what feels like unknown territory, discussing deficits, requiring us to tell someone where they need to improve in areas that might feel deeply personal character, communication habits, working styles.
A hard conversation.
The really hard conversations, the ones that require significant empathy, courage, emotional intelligence, skillful communication. They demand a leader step way out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
But, and this is the crucial point, they are absolutely essential for unlocking true growth, individual and organizational. Avoiding them isn't just a missed opportunity.
It's a disservice.
Our material asserts it's a profound disservice to the individual and to the business.
So it's not just about being comfortable. It's about courage, commitment to their growth. How do we shift that perspective then, especially when facing those uncomfortable developmental talks?
The key is to fundamentally reframe how we view developmental accountability. Instead of seeing it as pointing out flaws, highlighting weaknesses, delivering harsh criticism.
Which nobody likes doing or receiving.
Right. The material strongly encourages us to view it as doing them a big favor.
A favor. How so?
Think about it. When you hold someone accountable to what they've said they want in their career, their aspirations, their growth goals, the next level they want to reach, the kind of leader they want to become,
You're helping them get there.
you're actually helping them achieve their own deepest desires. You're acting as their strategic partner in their personal and professional journey.
Okay, that reframes it completely.
Doesn't it? And not doing so, the material asserts, is that profound disservice. You're withholding the very feedback, guidance, direction that could propel them forward. You're actually holding them back by not having those conversations. If you're not genuinely helping your team grow towards their fullest potential, equipping them with the insights they need to develop, then you're not truly embodying that powerful, transformative role of Chief Accountability Officer. Your role isn't just managing current performance, it's actively cultivating and maximizing potential.
Okay, that's the mindset shift. Now, practically speaking, how do we implement this day to day?
For practical application, our material suggests a really tangible exercise. Look at your own calendar for the upcoming week.
Okay.
First, if it's already full of conversational meetings, one-on-ones, team check-ins, coaching sessions, strategic reviews, that's a good start. It means you're engaged.
But that's not enough.
No. The next, far more critical step is to examine the quality and the mix of those conversations. Are your meetings with your team members, your leaders, genuinely driving the ball forward every single week? Are you holding them accountable to both their tactical duties and their developmental career goals?
So looking at the content of the meetings.
Exactly. It's not just about showing up and listening. It's about the purpose, the intentionality, the specific content of your interactions, ensuring they are strategically balanced between the immediate tasks and the crucial long-term growth. Are you hitting that 20/80 blend?
That's powerful. It's a direct call to action. How you structure your time, yes, but more importantly, the substance of your conversations. So, boiling it down, what are the core takeaways here?
I think it boils down to three core actionable insights from this deep dive. Things you can start thinking about, maybe implementing right now.
Okay, number one.
First, always remember that accountability is a spectrum. Don't leave it vague. Be crystal clear where someone stands, maybe on a scale of 1 to 100% regarding your expectations for their role, their projects, their overall performance. Make it concrete, measurable, something you can discuss, track, and improve together. Vagueness kills accountability.
Clarity is key. Got it. Number two.
Second, actively fight your self-defeating thoughts. That head junk we talked about, those insidious excuses babysitting we're all adults, their experience, not enough time. Recognize them when they pop up and consciously push past that internal resistance. Because the payoff, enhanced performance, trust, accelerated growth, it's truly immense. Don't let fear stop you.
Okay, challenge the head junk. And third.
And third, strive with real intention for the right balance between tactical and developmental accountability. Remember that 20-80 split. Dedicate maybe 20% of your focus to those small, frequent tactical nudges, maintain standards, ensure operational excellence, but commit the overwhelming majority of your energy, that crucial 80%, to the deeper, transformative developmental conversations. Align them with people's career aspirations. Help them grow into the absolute best versions of themselves. That's where the real magic happens. Hashtag outro.
Wow, what a profound reevaluation of leadership this has been. Moving from that often ambiguous, maybe isolating title of CEO to the deliberate, impactful, and honestly clarifying role of Chief Accountability Officer. It truly offers a path to just unparalleled clarity, purpose, effectiveness.
It really does.
The
Yeah.
insights today just underscore that true leadership isn't only about setting ambitious goals. It's about consistently guiding people through both clear tactical expectations and those inspiring developmental conversations to not just achieve those goals, but maybe exceed them.
Yeah, both for the health of the business, absolutely, but also for their own invaluable personal and professional growth. It connects the two.
It genuinely transforms the leadership role, doesn't it? From just a title on a business card into this dynamic, active, deeply influential force within the organization.
Absolutely. It's about shaping not just outcomes and metrics, which are important, but also shaping the full, often untapped potential of every single individual you lead.
So that leaves us with maybe a provocative thought for you, the listener, to carry into your week. This week, consider just one significant conversation you have on your calendar. Maybe with a team member, a direct report, even a peer. Are you truly prepared to not only address the immediate tactical stuff of a CHO, the deliverables, the process, the tasks,
There's 20%.
right, the 20%, but are you also prepared to intentionally, courageously engage in a developmental discussion, the 80%?
Yeah.
Can you frame it in a way that helps that person align their current actions with their deepest career desires, their long-term aspirations? What incredible opportunity might you unlock for them, certainly, but also for your entire team and maybe even for your own leadership journey by embracing that challenging but ultimately incredibly rewarding dialogue?
It's a powerful question to ponder.
It really is. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We genuinely hope you found these insights useful, maybe even empowering.
Hope it sparks some thinking.
We'll see you on the next one.